That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop Wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
What is a satisfaction commitment, and how can it guarantee more sales? Listen in and find out. How do you create an irresistible offer? Stay tuned and find out. Hello, my Dark Horse friends and family. Welcome back to your daily dose of Change My Life in 15 minutes or less learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you? Well, that's infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, and you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips in order to get the results that you want to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And me, I'm here hitting you with the daily success episode on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur as we dive deep into success and share actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game. Because as we already know, when it comes to success, there are no real shortcuts except for taking those steps towards your goal every single day. Now, before I start with today's thought on the satisfaction commitment and how it can share results, I want to pause to say, hey, have you subscribed to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur? And if you haven't, go on down there, click subscribe. And while you're there, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and drop us a review. Now leave us a few thoughts. What do you like? What do you don't like? Whatever it is. And then if you really want to get us to know me on a more personal level where we can, actually engage with each other, head on over to the Dark Horse Tribe on Facebook, our Facebook group. And, I'm in there daily, right? And feel free to ask questions, share thoughts, and we can, like I said, we can get to know each other on a better, more personal level, right? That's the Dark Horse Tribe. Oh God, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Okay, I know. Enough singing. Let's start off with everyone. How you feeling? It's Friday, right? I'm going to ask you, how do you want to feel? I mean, if you're focused on your goals and serving your people, your tribe, serving those that help you arrive at your targets, I know you're going to feel good because it's all about helping enough other people reach their dreams in order for you to reach yours, right? So if you're out there giving and serving with a passion in a way that only you can bring to the table, then you're probably bounding out of bed every single morning. Woohoo! Let's go! Let's get out there and start solving problems and making shit happen. And you're probably doing that not just on Friday or Monday or Tuesday, but you're out there every single damn day feeling like that, right? Okay, all right. Let me ratchet it down just a little bit. How you doing? How you want to feel, right? It's your day. You can choose how you want to feel. So I want to loop back to direct marketing again. We've hit on this a couple of times in recent episodes, and I try to give what I can because I think the bulk of my listening audience is in this arena, so it only seems right to tap this one on the shoulder once again as we talk about guaranteeing results with a satisfaction commitment. See, for me, I think this is one of the things that really, I mean super de duper really, multiple times really makes a difference between getting a sale and, well, not, right? I mean, if you think about it, once we get past all the usual things, like, having a good headline, laying out a good offer, which we talked about yesterday. Remember Siku selling ice to his Eskimo clientele, right? That irresistible offer, that offer that they just cannot turn down. They're like, holy moly, please take my money, Batman. Well, even after all that, you're still going to have a few holdouts. They're like, well, I don't know. And here's the thing, even when they're like that, it's not like they don't need what you're selling or don't want it. They're just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of still, they're kind of, whatever. So how do we get those folks that we know we can help, right? How do we give them that tiny little nudge that will get them over onto our side? Now, before I answer that question directly, you have to remember, Much like this podcast, while as intimate as it is I talk to you, directly into your ear, whispering my nuggets of knowledge every day, I'm still literally not sitting there with you or running with you or washing the dishes with you or walking the dog with you or whatever it is you're doing. I'm not really there with you. So I can't answer your questions directly. That's why I send you to the Facebook group, right? But it's the same thing with your prospects in these direct marketing pieces, be they postcards or emails or online sales pages. Your prospects aren't there looking at you. They're not looking directly at you, watching you as you share your message, right? They can feel. They can't really feel your mannerisms, etc. Like, if you're watching someone up on stage, right, you can see their facial expressions and watch their body language and feel those little nuances in communication that come with that. Well, now, maybe they can see some of that if you're doing a sales video, on a sales page, but it's a little different, right? It might give them some feel, but you're still not there face to face, making that one-to-one connection. So, like I mentioned in a previous podcast, you have to do it all for them. You have to think ahead of all the questions that they might ask you if you were standing there face to face. Offer those answers even in advance of them even thinking of them. Right? They haven't even thought of the question yet, and you go ahead and give them the answers. So now back to the question. How do we give them perhaps that last little nudge that gets them over to our side and then ready to take us up on that offer? Yeah. It's that satisfaction commitment. And here's basically what it is, right? At the end of the day, we already know our product or service is coming from the heart, and you have their best interests in mind as you present the solution. They get that. Then they might even feel that, you are right, and that your product would solve their problem. But they want to know that they're making the right and the wise decision in partnering up with you and giving you money. And there is where you need to make a promise to them. A lot of companies, they'll make a guarantee, and guarantees are good. I have one. Companies I've worked with, and worked for, they have them. I've seen ones that were stronger than others. But understand that guarantees are good. I've seen no time limit guarantees, full replacement guarantees. I've even seen double your money back guarantees. Heck, a few months ago, I was on a webinar once where the presenter said, not only will I give you your money back, but I will fly out to you and you can punch me in the face. I'm not kidding. It's exactly what he said. He was that sure of his product and his service that he was willing to give the person their money back and let them punch him in the face. Another tactic I've seen is giving a free trial, and we've all partaken in those, right? This podcast is free. It takes away the risk. Actually, it's kind of a risk reversal, right? You, the company or the product creator, are taking all the risk by investing all your time and resources into a prospect with no promise of return in revenue. Money back guarantees, you see those a lot. The time frames will change, and some of the conditions will change as well. Some will be a week, a month, or 90 days, or even a year. Some will say that if you prove you did all the work, or whatever the conditions are, right, that's you'll get your money back. I think those are more to, let's say, protect us from the folks that would buy only to get the content for free and say, give me my money back, right? They'll get the content, download it all, and then say, oh, just give me my money back. And yeah, okay, out of all of that, here's the question. What works? Well, here's the skinny. The more outrageous, but truthful the guarantee, yeah, that's right, the better, right? Again, the more outrageous, but truthful the guarantee, the better. When you present your guarantee, that one that you can and are willing to back 150%. But when your prospect sees it and thinks you're just out of your flipping mind to present a guarantee like that, then that's the one they're going to go for. But once again, the key here is to come across that you are that committed to your prospect's satisfaction. That's why you're making such an outrageous claim. Hence, we want to call it a satisfaction commitment, because you're that committed to your prospect's satisfaction. Make it a total and complete risk reversal. Put them in the driver's seat where they can't lose. They cannot lose except by not taking you up on this amazing offer that resolves their pain point. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people will not do this. They won't make it so outrageous of a guarantee, but it's real. And are you willing to back it up 110%? Because if it's that real, right? So while a lot of people won't do this, you can do this, right? That's the point I'm trying to get at. Sorry if that sounds a little confusing, right? A lot of people will not do this. They'll say, hey, money back guarantee. No. Make it so outrageous of a guarantee, but that it's real. And, it's real to the point that you're willing to back it up that 110%. And because of your willingness to back it up, it will come across as real and believable. And you've crossed that barrier, that you've made such a promise that your prospect is going, whoa, wait, really? You're willing to really promise me all that? That's awesome. I mean, I think the satisfaction commitment should be so amazing that they're going to tip their head and think, dude, this guy's nuts, right? They're going to have their head tipped to the side like Nipper, the RCA dog you mentioned. But if he's really willing to take all that risk, okay, sign me up, right? Take my money, Batman, right? And those are the ones you want. Okay. I mean, they were ready to buy. They were just holding back. There's something you just needed to push them, just tap them on that shoulder to push them over to your side. Now, on the other side of things, I know you're thinking back to maybe one of those 3-day conferences you've been at, or one of those webinars you've been, or some product you've bought. And here, let me give you an example. Right? Think about those. Let's go back to those 3-day conferences. So you remember those 3-day conferences that they were held. Maybe they were in the personal development game or the business game, held by those big names, those names that we've all heard. And they offered one of those amazing guarantees where they said, you know what? Here's the deal. If after the first day you are not completely satisfied, let us know, and we'll return the cost of your admission ticket. Plus, we'll pay all your travel expenses. Now, they couldn't make a bold claim like that to the audience size that they had, which was usually thousands of people, unless they had a high rate of satisfaction. But for the customer who's, really risk averse, they're going, oh my God, you mean if I'm not happy, you'll give me back all my money, plus you'll pay the extra money it cost me to get there? Again, sign me up, Batman. You feel me? All right. Now, is it going to happen? Yeah, I'm sure that they've had a few people that weren't happy and took them up on their guarantee. But guess what? You know what you do? You honor it. And then you both walk away happier from the experience. I mean, you don't want an unhappy participant in your conference in the first place, right? You don't want an unhappy participant in your webinar or in your product or in your private Facebook group, right? So you honor that tiny percent of unhappy folks, that tiny percent of occasions when it does happen. Plus, look, here's the reality. The cost of whatever that tiny percent is, it's going to be offset far and away by the lift in sales that it generates by having that satisfaction commitment and getting those folks to buy in the first place. And I think the other concern that may be weighing in your head is those less than honorable people that are out there that leverage that guarantee to get your stuff for free and steal your stuff and use your stuff for free. Well, yeah. You know what? For me, here's the deal. You can't go around the world focusing and stressing again on that tiny percentage of the populace that are going to do that. Because let's be honest, there are going to be people that are going to go out there and they're going to steal your stuff and they're going to use it, right? I would say, here's a great way to look at it. If you could put your stuff out there and someone doesn't have the integrity to pay you what it's worth in the first place, but they're helped by your stuff, then you were able to help them anyway. Hopefully you help them regain a little bit of integrity along that process. If not, I would still come back and instead focus on that mass majority that you are there to serve and to give the right solution at the right time and in order to free them of whatever pain point your product or service resolves. Plus, karma and in the universe will see who's doing right by whom, right? And this too shall come full circle. So at the end of the day, come to the table with a good product at a good price, backed by a good satisfaction, by a crazy, amazing satisfaction commitment, and you will find the good people in your audience and in your tribe will reward you by buying from you over and over and over again. All right, that wraps up another week of our Daily Dose. Next week, we're going to start chatting a little bit about building profit loops in your business. You remember, I discussed contribution loops, right, in a previous episode. So now I want to chat about 5 places that you can build profit loops inside your business that will make those contribution loops possible and even stronger. All right. Again, go on down there, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star rating and an amazing review. And I will keep coming at you every day. Get out there, run your race, get your results, and let me hear about them. Tracy at darkhorseschooling.com. Until next time, think successfully and take action. Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.
Military life isn't predictable, but earning your master's degree can be. With American Military University's 40-plus flexible online master's programs, you can stay mission-ready while you get market-ready. Learn anywhere, anytime, with an education built to keep pace, steady, reliable, and always accessible. Plus, military service members, veterans, and their families can save up to 45% on master's tuition with AMU's special rates and grants. Learn more at amu.apus.edu. Steady through every mission.